I know that he ends up with her as well, right? There's so
Oh, okay,
and that
yeah.
I feel like that's kind of a thing in isekais too, where um I don't know, it's almost like you're in this weird kind of I don't want to call it heaven kind of thing, but
Mm.
in a sense, maybe it's like a heaven where you're the most popular.
You get
The
everything you
whole
want.
story, revolves around you, and you
Mhm.
get everything you want.
Yeah.
So you don't have to settle for being with one woman.
Yeah.
You can have 2 or 3 women,
Yeah.
and they're all okay with it.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
which all right, are we going to negatives
So this
or yes? Go ahead.
brings me into my profound moment where I realized what this show
Oh,
was about. Right.
okay.
This show is so obviously this show is probably made by men. Obviously, made by
Okay.
men. Maybe,
Yeah.
probably.
No, I'm
most
sure the
likely, yeah.
author of the novel is a man.
Is male? Okay,
I'm sure.
so
Yeah.
like this show. All right, so this is what popped in my head, right?
Yes.
So don't take this the wrong way.
Say it.
But this show felt like, the best way that I can describe it is like girl porn for men. You know what I mean? Like, you know how like, have you ever heard of like women saying, "Oh, women porn is like, porn for women, like sensual, this,
slow,
that, emotional,
romantic,
slow, romantic, that kind of thing."
Yeah.
This feels like that, but for men, like girl porn made for men, right? Because this is like the male fantasy show.
Oh, okay,
right?
okay.
Because you get the power, you get the magic, the swordsmanship,
Yeah, the center of
strength.
attention.
Yeah, you get the
You're
attention,
you're
all
the
the
coolest
power,
thing
the
in-
money. And then you get the women, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you get everything you want because you get
And the women are okay with it.
Yeah,
There's the big caveat
right. So you
too.
find Sylphie, right? Sylphie, the perfect, girl that you grew up
love
with.
since childhood. She's loved you since childhood.
Right. Here's your ED issue.
Yeah.
And then gives you a child, and then you go on this adventure. You meet your other
that you
the
loved.
goddess,
Right.
Roxy the goddess,
Mhm.
and then something happens with her as well, and then you bring her back.
And you didn't do it.
Yeah,
I was just lying there, minding my own business.
She saved me
and-
from darkness,
Right, and she jumped on me. And,
yeah, right. And then you bring her back like, after all this, like, oh, you're the only one for me. And then like you bring her back, like I want to bring her in as a wife.
And so
you're okay
she's
with
like,
it. So he's like, okay.
Yeah, there was.
Right?
I mean, this.
Like
yeah,
you get to have you get to have your cake and eat it. You get to have
Exactly,
everything. And this
exactly.
and this is that thing where it's like. And I'm not gonna knock lifestyles or what people, how people live their life or relationships or anything. I'm not knocking any of that.
Right.
I'm a monogamous person myself.
Sure.
But there are other places where other things work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is like, to me, I don't know. It's like it's like what. Okay, I'm gonna go with this. What's his name? Tom Segura has this great segment, right? Where he says, like, some women are like, "Oh, my man's not like that. My man's not like this." But he says, "No, your man is as gross and as debased as you let him be, as you allow him to be." Right? So, like, as far as you put the line, is how far your man will be. Right? So, as far as he is allowed to push this, he will go that far.
Right.
And then they try to tie it in with like, "Oh, you can love more than one person." At the same time, you can love more people purely at the same time. Yeah. And I don't know, whatever works for you. That's fine. Sure. But like, this is what this feels like. Is like, this is the ultimate male fantasy where you can love as many people as you want, and everyone's gonna be okay with it, and you get everything you want in life. That's what this show is to me.
I agree. I 100% agree. I definitely thought the same thing. Like, that's exactly what this is. Whenever this kind of happens in an isekai, that's the case. And the real kicker is not that you get to have a bunch of different women or a few different women. Yeah, it's the fact that you get to have a few different women and the women are all okay with it. Right, they're all cool with. Like, Sylvie took. It wasn't even 5 minutes for her to be like, "Hey, you screwed my husband." Yeah. I'm glad you helped him when he was down.
Yeah.
Why don't you stay here and keep on?
Because that means you love him the way that I do.
Right.
And we can all be happy together.
And again, it's like it's 100% the male fantasy of
this kind of perfect world, right?
Right. Yeah. And everyone's okay with it. Because I have thought like a bunch of different times, like, if you were like, and that's interesting that it was. I don't know if it was necessarily like, if you go to, I didn't think necessarily like when a person might go to heaven, but it might be it might be more of an isekai situation, minus Optimus Prime. But if you are able to go to a different world, like, for whoever it may be, would you still do the same stuff that you did here? You know what I mean? When you're trying to live all nice and virtuous and here's the right thing. If you could go to a different world where this world's left behind, but you go to a different world where you're allowed to do whatever, would you be monogamous? Would you have one woman? Now it kind of goes on some levels, it goes against like the male thing to want to just be with one woman. I think with these isekais and with this, they're telling a truth.
Yeah.
That it is like a man thing to want to have. Like you said, you're cake and eat it too. You want to be able to have both, but it kind of it does have this world's stigmas on it. So they kind of dip into it hesitantly. His younger sisters are like, "Oh, that's not right. You're not supposed to do it." And then when you see them at the end of the episode, they're all cool with each other. Like you see Norn and Roxy, they're like hanging out together, like waiting for the baby, and they're all cool with each other.
Yeah.
And it, just when you saw her earlier, I mean, months have gone by, but she's like, "What are you doing here? You're you're a homewrecker, basically. Get the hell out of here. You got any pride, no shame."
Yeah, and the very last thing you see is like Sylvie holding the baby next to Roxy, sitting next to her, like enjoying the baby.
And they're all cool. And again, like you said, it's 110% the male fantasy.
Yeah.
And that's what this show really is. It's like, and so it's not even like he died and went to another world. It's like you died and you went to heaven.
Yeah.
Really.
Essentially.
And this is
your heaven. This character's this guy's heaven.
It's this guy's heaven that you get to be cool, you get to be strong, you get to be young, you get to be attractive.
Yeah.
You get to be the center of attention. Everything focuses on you.
Yeah.
All this it's everything. You get to be the cool guy, you get to come from a cool family, a cool background, you get to go on cool missions.
Yeah.
You get to not die essentially. At least, not yet. Maybe at some point, season 3, season 4.
Whatever.
Who knows? Who knows?
I don't know.
If they take it that way, if they take it that far. But he gets, this is male heaven essentially. You're strong, you're powerful. You are essentially Batman. That you are this, you're better than everybody else kind of thing. That's every guy's fantasy. To be able to have.
Every guy truly wants to have money,
right?
Status, and
power and women. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's every. I'm screw it. I'm going to go ahead and say it's every guy. It's every guy because again, it goes into like when you have these. When I thought about it. It's always been like, so what would, let's say a priest gets a second chance, or let's say this married man gets a second chance, or this politician, this religious leader, whoever it may be, like what would they do if they got a second chance to do all over again? What would you do if you had another chance? Not even a second chance. You had another chance to live the life, the way you ultimately would want to.
Yeah.
I feel like and we can only speak for guys. I don't know, what women might do, but that would be what guys would want to do. They would want to be cool, powerful, blah, 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 but they definitely want to have, they want to have multiple
that's what it seems
women.
Like, But I mean, it comes down, that's like the same thing with like Zom 100 was a good example. Like, what would you do with the second chance if there was nothing stopping you from doing what you
if society's norms weren't there to be in your way?
Yeah, this guy would literally like, I'm gonna drink beer at 10 in the morning.
Right,
that's what I'm gonna do.
I mean, that's what that's great.
You know, you know what I mean. And I mean, I don't drink beer at 10 in the morning. Wink, wink. On my days off, wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge.
But like, if there was no societal like thing saying like you can't drink beer at 10 in the morning, then I don't know. What's the first thing I'm gonna do when society goes away? Drink beer at 10 in the morning.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. That's a good point. That's a very good point. And that's what this show feels like it's really acting on. I mean, I don't know if it's a specific writer or, you know, just in general, like just this again, softcore male fantasy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like they're it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna go off and bang every girl in my wake. You know what I mean? It's like there's the emotion to it, there's the family dynamic, there's the things that you care about. So you care about him because he emotionally is attached to all these people.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like you are physically being able to do what you want also. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you get to have everything you want in life. Yeah. And that's what this show is.
And I feel like that's what a lot of isekais do, but I feel like this one might just be better written, maybe. I feel like a lot of isekais are, and I'm not trying to take a shot at mangas, but you can go into more detail, more in depth with a novel, or a novella or novelette, whatever. Right. So I feel like this one might be done a little bit better. It's already got a big fan following. It's already, so they're definitely trying to do the show right. They're trying to make the show well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel it's an isekai thing. It's that genre thing. This one just happens to be, I think, a little bit better at it than the others.
Yeah, I think they put more thought into a lot of the side stuff. They didn't just like go straight into one type of like male fantasy. Yeah. You know, girls, big boobs everywhere.
Right.
You know, that's not what they did. They really tried to take it a little carefully, and they executed really well in a lot of these parts. Yeah.